Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So excited to be here with you all today. My name is Trav. I am the host from Tectum Blockchain, and today we have a stacked panel to talk about some very important and very exciting things here. I'm just going to start off by introducing everyone on our panel here. We've got Luca Rigobello. Luca is a partnerships lead from Tectum. We have got Diarmuid, who is the business development lead. We have Leon, of course, and Leon is head of BD. And then last but not least, we have Neil Cloutier Foy, and I apologize if I butchered that in any way. And Neil is the Chief Product and Technology Officer. And gentlemen, such a pleasure today to chat with you. We are going to be diving into the partnership, which is Tectum and Propchain, and talk about all of the power they bring to this space and why you should all be so incredibly excited that this partnership is happening. And if you have any questions and if this sounds at all confusing, stick around because this is going to get really exciting here. So let's start. We'll move around the table here. I want to start with you, Luca. Welcome. I want you to introduce yourself and tell us what's on your mind right now.
Hey guys, very nice to finally address our community. I've been working with Tectum as partnerships lead for about 10 months now, and this is my first appearance for you guys. So happy to finally meet you all. I hope we can clarify a lot of things about this very exciting partnership that we are constructing with Propchain. So yeah, excited for it.
I love it. And just a quick sidebar tangent here for everyone, just to really verify right now, Luca is a real person, and you can see that here right now. Perfect. Thank you so much for being here, Luca. Diarmuid, welcome. Thank you so much. Let us know who you are and what your thoughts are in the moment.
Yeah, thank you, Trav. Thanks for having us on. Me and Neil are delighted to be joining here with Tectum. So, yeah, my name is Darren Maddock. I'm based out in Dublin, Ireland. I will try speak slowly for a lot of people. They might not, understand my Irish accent. That at times might be a little bit difficult to understand, but nevertheless, my name is Darren Maddock. I'm the business development lead at Propchain. I spent the recent about 4 years now working directly in tokenization, spanning across a wide use cases, mostly trade finance, and now real estate with Propchain. So as I said, I'm business development lead, and right now I'm leading mostly on the partnership front and expanding our ecosystem. And obviously Tectum is falling under this right now. So we're really excited to have Tectum integrated into the wider piece.
Love it, my friend. And honestly, you're bringing back a ton of nostalgia on a personal note. My grandma's, her accent was spot on with yours. So I feel like I'm talking with family right now. Let's get back into it before I digress even more here. Neil, welcome. Thank you so much. Let us know who you are and let us know what your thoughts are in the moment.
Thanks, Trav. So yeah, my name's Neil. Neil Foy is nice and simple, keeps it a bit easier to digest. So I'm a Chief Product and Technology Officer at Propchain. So obviously involved in sort of taking things from sort of strategy and ideation in terms of a lot of the products we're looking to start to develop and roll out, and then taking that all the way through to delivering the goods and rolling out some fantastic new features and services for our customers.
Phenomenal, Neil. An absolute pleasure here. I love it. Neil Foy, much easier. It's not something I could possibly stumble over. So thank you so much for being here. And last and of course not least, we have got Leon. Leon, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time. It's all yours. Floor is yours. Let us know who you are and what your thoughts are.
Of course. Thank you, Trav. Leon Afanasyev. I'm head of business development in Tectum. I joined Tectum about 4 months ago. My previous expertise is finance, so I'm a former advisor for Morgan Stanley and Prudential Securities. I manage the family offices in Switzerland, structure finance, trading, new products. That's kind of my specialty here. And honestly, look, we're very excited about the partnership. I think we can definitely work together on many different aspects of this partnership, including cross-border settlements, transactions, and obviously real-world assets and now blockchain. So that's definitely the big angle we have there. So just let's talk into the detail. Let's talk about the details, and we're here. Yeah.
I can't freaking wait, my friend. Luca, thank you. Or sorry, Leon, thank you so much for being here. And then last but of course not least, I just want to thank everyone who's already joined us. We have over 200 people and growing by the second of our community members and our audience members who are with us to hang out with us today. So I just want to take a moment and thank all of you for taking your time, taking your energy, which is extremely valuable to be here with us today. And I promise you, we will not disappoint. So let's get right into it, friends. First of all, I'd love to take the opportunity to quickly do a high-level view for anyone from either community who may not be fully aware of what Tectum is all about, what Propchain is all about, and just kind of give you guys a quick high-level view on what exactly these projects are and why you should be so excited. So maybe, Leon, I'll start with you. Can you give us a quick overview on the top, most exciting selling points of what Tectum is building and yeah, why people should be pretty excited about this? Oh, I think you're still on mute there, my friend. There we go.
We're currently working on lots of very interesting things. First of all, we updating and finalizing our blockchain 4.0, which is our leading product. We enhancing our infrastructure by bringing serious partners into our ecosystem, and potentially it will be partnerships like Ripple. We're going to talk about the custody for some of our products. We're bringing another things which will allow our community to kind of on-ramp and off-ramp from our soft-node wallet. And we're working on the soft-node pay. We're working on lots of different things. And obviously, any commercial partnership is super important for us because we want to utilize our blockchain and we want people to build on this blockchain, especially on the blockchain 4.0. So this is the future of our project.
Thank you so much there, Leon. And just one quick thing, two quick things rather. First thing, I can't allow us with good conscience to just completely skim over the fact that you guys are talking about partnerships with teams like Ripple. And then also Propchain in itself is a massive project. And that alone is something worth celebrating here. And then I was wondering if you could take 2 more seconds and just maybe explain to the Propchain community what separates the Tectum 4.0 blockchain from your typical other chains that are out there right now, and what's so exciting about it?
We can talk. First of all, we can talk about the speed of the transactions, and maybe I can let Luca talk about this a little bit more if you want to talk about the details of the 4.0 blockchain.
Right. So currently, what we have and what we like to call is the fastest blockchain in the world right now, and it's pretty much what we have at hand. Right now, I'm not the person to really give a technical overview of our blockchain, but one thing, for example, I can mention to Neil, and Neil, you might be familiar with this concept. But when we talk about our regular blockchain, so for example, Solana has a 600,000 transactions per second metric, right? However, when you count the block time, that transaction per second really comes down to about a couple thousand. Tectum, for example, doesn't have that aspect. So there's no weight for the block times. And this is all due to the architecture of the blockchain, which was envisioned by Alex, our founder, and his whole tech team. And the whole concept of Tectum and its blockchain is not only of being extremely fast, but being extremely reliable and interoperable. So a blockchain agnostic, right? So we like to have that expression thrown around, and that is extremely important, especially when we're talking about a potential dual deployment of products on Tectum blockchain and other blockchains. You have to have the capacity for interoperability. So that is one thing that we seek while developing the blockchain 4.0. Also, among with the, of course, the decentralization, which is oftentimes just forgotten by projects. We've kept that in mind. So all of these little details that a lot of blockchains tend to overlook, we looked at them, and we made sure to pay a lot of attention to it and to create a product that truly is what our community wants.
Perfect. Luca, couldn't have said it any better. And I think these are the exact points that I was trying to tease out of this conversation already. So we're building some layers here. First of all, we've established, what sets the Tectum blockchain apart. And now we're about to pivot a little bit more of the conversation to Propchain. And as a guy who's on the Tectum team, I'm very familiar with Tectum and its attributes. The community is familiar with Tectum and its attributes. Now, here's the part where we can kind of take that excitement and bring it to the next level here. So maybe, Neil, I'll divert this next question to you. Tell us a little bit more about RWAs. Tell us a little bit more about bringing real estate investments to the blockchain and how you guys are coming at it from a very unique and accessible and efficient and safe way.
Yeah, thanks, Trav. So, I mean, look, from an accessibility perspective, from our perspective of real estate, we see this in two ways. I think there's the traditional fractionalization of assets themselves, which is probably what most people think of in terms of RWA, and we can come into that in a bit. But we're also looking at it from the perspective of streamlining of the financing of real estate projects and actually tokenizing the debt itself behind it. So, in terms of fractionalizing of assets, typically buying real estate requires, substantial capital and accreditation, and tokenization allows the fractional ownership with minimal entry points ultimately, and it sort of democratizes access to previously exclusive markets. And, I think that's the core of what people understand. But I think where it gets interesting from our side is that by tokenizing the debt, this brings a whole different level of benefits to the industry. Current real estate finance processes are slow, expensive, and bloated with intermediaries that, ultimately eat into overall sort of deal value. And I think once you factor in bridging loans to manage cash flow gaps and the fact that, banks are, pulling back from real estate lending because of, Basel III capital adequacy regulations, you see that the market is, for what it is filled with operational inefficiencies and fragmentation. So by tokenizing real estate debt, this offers a more practical and scalable solution with, debt instruments are, inherently structured, as I'm sure people know, and, it makes them the perfect use case for smart contracts that bridge, institutional frameworks and blockchain technology. And this is where, just even outside of real estate, you've got Fidelity have just announced, they're doing a big piece in the space, and, BlackRock, obviously, JP Morgan, tokenization of these money market funds, the numbers are huge. And if you look at sort of where this is projected to go over the next 10 years, the value is really quite incredible. If we look at it from a tradability perspective, real estate has, it's historically been a highly illiquid industry, transactions taking months and involving, significant fees. Whereas, tokenized real estate can be traded, 24/7 on secondary markets with minimal friction and near real-time settlement. So it brings a huge shift in terms of actually how the industry can operate. And the same goes for the debt. But, this can also be adapted to create more structured and tranched applications, which is, the area that we're working on right now to create some really interesting products and staking opportunities for, all sorts of clients across the, the ecosystem from sort of retail traditional clients to right through to institutional plays. So, I would say tokenization is probably better understood as removing technical barriers to liquidity rather than perhaps automatically creating liquidity itself. But, as the fundamental forces that drive liquidity in market interest, price discovery, risk assessment, and, regulatory certainty still apply. But for the right use case, it brings real benefits. So, there's some really big stuff that this is going to deliver. And, obviously there's the security elements, which we all, know and love about blockchain, and the fun that brings every now and again with the usual announcements happening. But, smart contracts that also can provide automated compliance and dividend distributions and governance, whilst reducing sort of intermediaries and associated costs. So there's huge benefits to the market.
Couple of keywords that you mentioned there that are right away activating that part of my brain that gets really excited when it comes to blockchain investment opportunities. You said staking opportunities, you said dividends, you said making real estate one of the most stable assets out there, most reliable assets out there, more liquid, more accessible. That massive financial barrier to entry that you see with traditional real estate markets is no longer a factor. And speaking about big numbers, I'm looking at a chart here. Looks like prop.com has $1.15 billion worth of assets under their management right now. So the numbers are already pretty massive. And you're talking about how this number is just kind of the tip of the iceberg here. So very, very exciting. One thing I did want to mention here on a personal note was, I've been a host for many years, and I've hosted many other real world asset projects, specifically when it comes to fractionalizing real estate. And there were a couple of very specific points about Propchain that set you guys apart from all of these. And we're about to get into that very, very soon here. But before we do, I would be remiss if I did not check in with you, Diarmuid, and just kind of see if you had anything extra that you wanted to add, both either to about Tectum's strong selling points or Propchain's strong selling points, and honestly, just to hear your voice a little bit more here, my friend. So I'm going to send the mic over to you, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. So there's two words that really stood out to me, and I think that reflect our partnership. That's reliability and accessibility. So before I get into that piece there, I'll backtrack a little bit and I'll speak about the partnership from, let's say, Propchain POV, right? So ultimately, I think Propchain, we saw Tectum as the perfect blockchain infrastructure for scaling real estate finance, given the fact that Tectum has that unparalleled ability to process, Luca, I believe you mentioned around 3.5 million transactions per second, which is extraordinary. So that in itself presents an opportunity for Propchain to create a real estate investment ecosystem that essentially operates in real time. So we can provide the community that want to operate on chain, as well as Tectum's community, of course, as well, with faster and obviously more efficient transaction processing, whether it's through fractionalized ownership or if it's through our upcoming products like Prop Yield, etc. So, at the same time, I think Tectum recognized that by collaborating with Propchain, it would give them access to a rapidly growing and lucrative private market of real estate debt. And not only this, but also a network of real estate investors, institutions, and developers as well. So, and also one other point as well, and this is going back to accessibility. I think in addition to this, Propchain, we're providing Tectum's community with exclusive access to previously inaccessible private markets through innovative products like Prop Yield. So this opens up new opportunities, and I think expands Tectum's reach far beyond just normal, let's say, DeFi offerings. You can now offer a source of yield coming directly from a premium real estate private debt market. So, and then going back to the other word now, and then that's reliability. I think reliability, of course, is a critical component of this partnership. I think since Propchain, we're obviously dealing with investors and large financial transactions, I think ensuring the security and dependability of every transaction is, of course, paramount. And you said it yourself, guys. You've explained it well, how Tectum's infrastructure offers that stability and trustworthiness that we need personally as Propchain. This is what we seek in our partners, and we wouldn't settle for any less. So, yes, that's what I would say in a nutshell of why Propchain saw Tectum as a perfect fit. And also, I don't want to keep going on a little bit more, but the interoperability, of course, is also a key component to Propchain's vision. I think the integration of blockchain into real estate requires seamless connections across a variety of ecosystem partners, ranging from the financial institutions to development companies, such as prop.com. I think we need to connect this all fluidly, right? This goes without saying. So, together, this partnership, I think, is a very, very strong one. This is this partnership that we're personally very excited about.
Perfect, Diarmuid. I'm so glad that was the approach that you took to this point that you just brought with us. and that was one thing I was hoping to, again, kind of get to in this conversation next, actually. So thank you for being right there in my brain, is what attracted Propchain to Tectum in the first place. And I think those are extremely valid points, and something that's, really hammers in and cements the potentials of this partnership to begin with. So maybe as the next question, Luca, I'd like to ask you, what was it about Propchain specifically that was so appealing as a potential or as a future project to be building on Tectum 4.0?
Right. So I think mainly when we talk about tokenization and real world assets, so the topic is obviously super interesting. And if you are a blockchain today, I think there's someone with their mic.
Oh yeah, Leon, maybe I'll just ask. I'm just gonna put you on mute here, my friend. Here we go. Perfect. How's that?
Right. That's better. So tokenization and real world assets, it's got to be a focus of any blockchain today. I mean, when we see the studies, when we see the numbers and the amount of liquidity that's going to be unlocked by stopping the gatekeeping, the technical gatekeeping, right? That's what Neil was talking about. We have a lot of gatekeeping today due to technicalities. So, for example, real estate debt is something that isn't that accessible because of this technical gatekeeping. So, for you to invest in it, it really took you either an asset manager or a lot of knowledge for you to get into the market. And what I saw with Propchain is, first of all, a serious and professional team. This is something that I always touch on when we're at meetings, is how professional they are, how serious they are about their work, their time, and their effort. So that's something that we always take into consideration when choosing a partner, right? And the products they already have, their track record is something that stands out and speaks for itself. So when we talk about tokenization, which is a need for every blockchain to actively go after, right? Every blockchain should go after this niche. There's really no better way of approaching it when you have a product that democratizes investment, that enables people in our community, especially, to invest in products that they wouldn't otherwise be capable of investing. So that's really the thought process, is not only of helping them, but also helping ourselves.
That makes a ton of sense. And I know Tectum has begun a campaign, if you will, to onboard stellar projects to begin building on the Tectum blockchain. And right off the bat, from what I'm understanding and what I'm hearing, and from my own personal research, it sounds like Propchain certainly does set that bar for the quality of projects that are hoping to be attracted to the Tectum 4.0 blockchain. So
Definitely. And this is just as a quick add up, Trav. Throughout the past 10 months, I've been working as partnerships lead. The amount of projects that I've personally seen approach us like that is just so many projects, but you have to set the standard. So to have Propchain as one of the first partners coming in, like, it shows to the rest of the community, okay, we have a certain standard, like we don't want anything to come our way. So it's really good to set the pace with it.
Perfect. No, I'm so happy that you brought that point up, Luca, because one of the thoughts that was formulating was something that I appreciate from both of your projects is that your mission is purely community driven and accessibility and equality driven. You're both putting in work where you are not only listening to the community, but you are building to be able to propagate profit essentially to as many people as possible, regardless of your income range or regardless of your lifestyle. And I think that's a beautiful segue into something I'd like to cover here next, which is prop yield. But before jumping into that, I have to check in with you, Leon, make sure everything's going okay over there. And I just wanted to see as well if there was anything you'd like to add to the topic of conversation here, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. Look, I think Luca did a fantastic job, and like I said, we're very proud to have a Propchain as our partner. Definitely high standards partnership for our blockchain and for our community. It's also, I think it's a big advantage that one of the first partners that we're going to have on Tectum 4.0 blockchain is definitely a Propchain company. Other than that, I think we did cover pretty much everything before that going into it, and we're excited to work with the guys, and I'm sure we're going to have exciting times ahead of us. And like I said, we're ready to go. We're ready to look into the details and create whatever the tokens we're going to have to create on the certain assets. That's it. So, like I said, we're ready to move forward.
Perfect. Well said. Well said. And again, great way to transition topics here, my friend. Thank you, Leon. Excuse me. Beg your pardon, that was extremely rude. So my next question, I want to get back to you, Neil, and Dearmid here. I'd love to talk a bit about prop yield. When I mentioned earlier that I found that your specific real estate fractionalization approach was different and offered slightly more intriguing products in my opinion. Prop yield was certainly one of those opportunities. So either Dearmid or Neil, whoever would like to field this question here, I'm wondering if you can kind of break down exactly what that is, and maybe if you can tell us a little bit about what the opportunities that it will bring to the community, but then also how being built on Tectum 4.0 is truly going to kind of enhance your mission when it comes to prop yield.
Sure, thanks, Trav. Well, I mean, I can give you a bit of an oversight of the product, and I think Dermot can pick up on how we're leveraging the partnership side. I think we'll divide and conquer on this one. So, I mean, yeah, prop yield is a DeFi product that we're working on along with some soft equity tokens that we're starting to investigate, and ultimately we're trying to create a series of products that provides users with access to yields generated from real estate development profits as part of the stack. So, the core mechanism for prop yield is one that allows users to stake stable coins into specialized vaults, where essentially they can earn two types of yield. One against sort of, say USDT, which provides sort of stable, predictable income. And then there's a combination of that with our protocol token returns, which offer Propc, which is offering sort of higher appreciation, which is secured by, verified future revenues from our real estate development operations. So I think, the key innovation here is the ability to unlock these future real estate development revenues earlier through these staking vaults. And ultimately, the real estate development generally, generates lump sum profits upon completion. And usually that's, several years down the line, as opposed to providing sort of regular early cash flows, which is, how we're structuring these instruments. So, by allowing users to stake into these vaults backed by real world property portfolio, we can accelerate access to these future revenues whilst providing users with, consistent yield payments. And, this, Dermot touched on it earlier, but I mean, this creates value for multiple stakeholders in our views, both as us as developers, and for other developers we can partner with, to access capital without sort of traditional financing constraints. Then you've got investors who can get consistent yields from otherwise inaccessible development projects, and DeFi users who can use real estate backed yields without directly owning the property. So, from a security perspective, the fact that these are secured by sort of verified future revenues from our operations, provides an important risk mitigation factor compared to many DeFi protocols, and, creates a bridge between, traditional real estate backed by tangible assets and valuation methods and DeFi flexibility, which gives us, permissionless access, composability, and liquidity, as we've discussed. So, the vault structure can allow us ultimately to match development timelines with yield obligations as well, while maintaining sort of appropriate reserves for redemptions. So, the model effectively transforms what is a traditionally lumpy, delayed development profits sort of business into a more smooth, accessible DeFi compliant yield streams, and ultimately creates an entirely new primitive that benefits us as real estate developers and investors who are looking to diversify their portfolios. So that's the core of it. They were looking at various iterations of this. And, we're hoping to be able to get some of this live within the next sort of 1 to 2 months. So it's not far off. We're just making some final adjustments to the models, and watch this space.
Very, very exciting. And before we get over to you there, Jeremy, because I'm really excited to hear your perspective on the implications of building this specifically on Tectum, there's a couple things here that I definitely need to highlight. And when you're talking about the stability and the relative safety of, investing your tokens in a kind of yield pool or a staking mechanism, there's a couple different things here that really kind of enhance that safety and that stability when it comes to your investment. First of all, you're using stable coins, which traditionally you're already getting mitigating that volatility aspect. You're not just having to put in 2 different tokens, which are up and down in charts every single day. You're warding off there's a specific word that I'm looking for, and it's not coming, impermanent loss. That's no longer an issue here as well. Plus, you're receiving your yield, your reward, in the form of 2 tokens: the stablecoin itself, and then your localized prop token, which is pretty freaking incredible. I love dual token models such as this, and I think it adds a whole other level of dynamicness and intrigue when it comes to investment opportunities. Plus the fact that the staking pools are actually backed not by a uncertain, unknown token itself. It's backed by real world real estate assets, which just enhances that stability, again, on top of all of that. So yeah, Neil, thank you so much for taking the time to respond to that question so eloquently. And Diarmuid, I'd love to send the mic over to you now to kind of hear what the implications are of building this on the Tectum 4.0 blockchain.
Yeah. So thanks, Rob. I'll speak from my own perspective. So honestly, selfishly speaking, I think I want to take full advantage of one of the fastest growing and most hyped layer ones to come out this year, being obviously Tectum. I think obviously with that unparalleled speed, accessibility, and also it's clear how big the community has grown. This is a prime opportunity to tap into a rapidly expanding user base, and as more and more users flock to Tectum, I think we can leverage that ecosystem to attract investors and stakeholders to prop yield, but also work together on Tectum to collaborate on, let's say, a future joint Tectum and Propchain products. In addition to that, I think the flexibility of the Tectum team has been a major factor in making this partnership work. I think they've been incredibly supportive and adaptable, ensuring that a prop yield can be integrated into the Tectum's development language and infrastructure. So that flexibility in itself is highly appreciated from our side. And then one other thing that I actually find to be probably most interesting is, I think, the fact that we're distributing USDT and Prop C tokens to users. I think by building them on Tectum, we can eliminate those transaction fees associated with the yield distribution process. So I think that's another key factor that can also be highlighted by building on Tectum.
Incredible. And to kind of put that into perspective, sorry, go ahead there, Neil.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, it's got some amazing features as an L1. And, I think the big one for me, having been in sort of the RWA space for a while, is the interoperability is just such a big one. The walled gardens that you tend to get with sort of a lot of the way these products and platforms are built, being able to bridge beyond there is just such a huge thing. So it's great.
Incredible. Wonderful answers there, my friends. I appreciate that. And then just to kind of get back to Diarmuid's point about the low cost or the low fees rather for depositing and withdrawing from these staking pools, is that it brings me back to back in the Uniswap days for me personally, when Ethereum was the main and only chain available for liquidity pool investing. And sometimes it would cost $20, $30, $40 to put your money in and out. And that complete, like for someone like myself at the time who didn't have a lot of money to play with, you really had to factor that into the amount of money that you were putting in, the length of time that you were being patient to allow your dividends, your APR to start to accumulate. It just added a whole other level of complexity and got rid of, potential profit as well. Whereas something like this, where that whole factor is completely eliminated, I can certainly see why that's so appealing for everyone here at this table right now, and then any of our 627 viewers who are with us here at the moment. So gentlemen, yes, we've been chatting for about 40 minutes. I think I'd like to maybe tail off the conversation by chatting about future plans. So Luca, Leon, it's been a while since I've heard your voices. I miss you. So I'd love to send the mic over to you. What sort of things are you excited about looking forward to? And what do you think our community should be excited about looking forward to in the next coming months, next coming weeks when it comes to this partnership here?
Well, from my side, I can confidently say that Tectum and Propchain will work closely, because just from this AMA alone, I'm already having a couple of questions that I want to ask them after the AMA is finished, because there's a couple of potential angles for future collaborations that I'm seeing with different products. Because as we mentioned, this is truly the bridging of what we already have, but people don't have access to the democratized Web3 space where anyone could invest in these things. And there's just so many ways we can help each other and create products that are truly great for our communities, that by just having a 40-minute conversation, there are already lots of angles for potential products that we could develop in the future months. So that's what I expect for this partnership, is continuity. As Dermot mentioned, like the two words that he liked the most from what he heard, it's really a good thing for us to hear that from him, because he's the type of person we're trying to cater to. He's the type of builder that we're trying to attract to our ecosystem. And that is really the focus that we're currently having when we work on the development of our infrastructure. So to hear all of this is really just the validation of our work and of our work to come, really, because that's what comes to my mind. All of the things that we can build together from now on.
Well, I'm certainly here sitting. I did not think
Yeah,
I could possibly
100%.
feel any more bullish,
Yeah.
but that's a lie. Leon, it's all yours.
Well, I mean, 100% agreed again with my buddy Gianluca. Yeah, we would like to explore this relationship further and see how we can work together. There is, like I said, there's many different angles where we can utilize and match our technology with the business view of the prop chain. So we can't wait to start the ball rolling, and our team is ready. We are very flexible, like the guy said. We have a fantastic team of developers on standby, and we're ready to go. I mean, that's the whole story, pretty much.
Perfect. On the starting blocks, ready to launch here. Perfect. I'm gonna ask you the same questions there, Diarmuid and Neil. Diarmuid, I see your mute button is off, so maybe I'll start with you, and then I'll head over to you, Neil.
Yeah, well, to be honest, it's really just to echo what Leon and Luca said. Yeah, just really look forward to seeing how the weeks and months expand over, and Propchain will be at the ready. Looking forward to picking up on our conversations, Luca, after this.
Yeah, for sure. We should create the working group and see on a case-by-case basis, we can see how we can implement our technology into your ecosystem and start getting things done. So, like I said, the team is there. We're excited to work with you guys. I think it's a fantastic partnership going forward. And yeah, let's see. Let's give it a try.
I love it. The one thing that I'm picking up on here is the resolve and the passion for each of the individual works that you are doing here, and the excitement to catalyze both of your growths by working together here. So Neil, I'm going to end off with you, my friend. Your mic is ready to go. So yeah, same question fielded your way, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? High speed, low cost, easy access to interoperability. I mean, what's not to love, right? It's the trifecta we want, right? So game on from my side.
Love it. Love it. Perfect.
Great, thank you.
You had me at trifecta. I'm all aboard here. Excellent, gentlemen. We are going to end off this conversation very soon. But before we do, I want to give you guys any opportunities to give a call to action to our community. How can we support you? What should we be excited about in the coming weeks for your own personal works? And then we'll wrap it up here. So I'm gonna start from top, and I'll go around to all of you here. So let's start off with you, Luca. Any calls to action and any other final announcements you'd like to leave to our community today?
Well, our community should definitely keep their ears up. I mean, there's lots of things coming up. Leon has done. People don't see that because that happens like in the back rooms of the project and the industry. But Leon is doing just a tremendous groundwork on just guaranteeing us a top infrastructure for the usability of our ecosystem. So in the upcoming weeks, you can expect big news for sure. As he mentioned, a couple of big names from our industry as well as from outside of our industry. So lots of things to come. I would definitely pay attention to what we're developing in the coming weeks.
Very excited. Very excited. Thank you so much, Luca. Diarmuid, I'm going to end off, or I'm going to send the mic over to you now, my friend. Any final call to actions or any last minute words or announcements you'd like to share with our community right now?
Yeah, so I would say overall, just get involved. Get involved in all of our social channels. You can find us at Propchain Global on Twitter. On Twitter, you'll also be able to have a link to our link tree. You'll be able to join our Telegram channel there. We're always active in the Telegram channel. You can speak to members of the team. Be more than happy to answer any questions you might have regarding Propchain or just have a general discussion. Also, in regards to Prop Yield, we do have an exclusive MVP pool opportunity open. Right now, we're onboarding for our 3-month MVP pool, offering 6% USDT APY, as well as 5% Prop C APY. For more information on that, you can go to our pinned tweet on our Twitter account, and that'll take you to our Telegram channel that has a further announcement on that with all the information you need.
And I just need to emphasize the excitement in that. I've personally been doing a lot of research for stablecoin specific investing opportunities, and a 6% APR on a stablecoin yield is pretty incredible for the time being, especially with the way the market's been going here. So, Diarmuid, thank you so much for sharing that. Really appreciate you and appreciate your time. And yep, thank you for your energy. Leon, you are next, my friend. Let's hear it. Any calls to action or any final announcements you'd like to share with our community today? Oh, I believe you're still on mute, my friend. Let's see. Oh, Leon, we may be playing mute tag here.
Do you want me to kick in whilst he fixes it?
Please do. Please do. It's all yours.
Dead air otherwise, right? So no, look, just from my perspective, yeah, we're launching a revised version of our D app next month, and that's going to give a new platform for everyone to get stuck into, and will be the foundation of us launching, as I say, a series of new products. There's already going to be some new functionality, some cross-chain bridge capability on there, and yeah, just looking forward to getting that over the line and giving ourselves a new platform to launch the new business model on. So yeah, watch this space.
Very exciting, very exciting. And Leon, I see we have your mute button off, so I will end off with you, my friend. The floor is yours.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy. Well, what can I say to our community? Definitely stay tuned, follow the news. Our team has been working extremely hard in the last 3 to 4. Lots of changes, lots of great changes better. We enhance our team. We brought lots of professional guys, and there will be some exciting partnerships coming besides the Propchain. Although the Propchain is a fantastic story for us, we're very proud to work with these guys, as we said many times earlier. But it's going to be exciting news regarding the infrastructure of Tectum itself, and the commercial partnerships. So I'm not going to throw any more names now, but follow our story, Telegram, Twitter, you guys know the channels, and see how we become much stronger play in the blockchain field.
Perfect, Leon. I couldn't think of a better way to end off this conversation here. A couple of cliffhangers, lots of things to be excited about, and clearly all of the contributions you gentlemen have made to this conversation right now has been heard and appreciated. We have skyrocketed to over 700 viewers that are currently listening to our call. And I want to take a final opportunity to thank every single one of you for taking the time, for being with us, for supporting these two incredible communities. Because, of course, without you, it's impossible for anyone in this space to do any work here. So hats off to our communities. You guys are incredible here. And I think that's it. Gentlemen, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I very much look forward to our next conversation. Sorry, Diarmid, were you hoping to share one more thing here?
Thanks a
Oh,
lot.
no, I do apologize. I was just telling you that I appreciate you, Trav. That was it.
You can always interrupt me to say these words here, my friend. I truly appreciate you. Excellent. Well, this call will certainly be available for future watching on X, on YouTube, on several different accounts. So it will be very, very easy to find. So if you were tuning in after the fact, thank you again so much for taking the time. Gentlemen, absolute pleasure. I will ask that you guys hang on the call. I'm gonna end the stream now, but I will ask you hang out for a few seconds just so we can make sure all the upload happens here. And without further ado, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day. Have a very productive week. And thank you again so much to our community.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day.